next step comes is where you talk about a shake light. These are called crank lights. Same concept, you charge up a capacitor and it provides you ambient light. Shake lights, even the best ones, and I have ones that I bought that cost me $45 a piece. You shake them up, you shake them for about 30 seconds, and you get about 3 minutes of usable light out of them. And then you have to start shaking them again, and the light is not that powerful. It's even less powerful than this LED light is. And so it doesn't provide a great deal of light. But what does is taking one of these, is taking the crank light, and in about 30 seconds to a minute of cranking of this gives you about 15 minutes of light. And there's several versions of this that are really nice. It has a little crank. That's just, it was dead when I started to crank it up. And so this will also provide a nice amount of light. Most of them, some of them like this one, also has a radio attached. So this is a flashlight and a radio, great for emergency purposes. And they're relatively expensive. For the same price that you can get a crank light like this, you can get a shake light, but the shake light doesn't last as long and the light is not as bright. And so I've found that having the crank light works much better than having a shake light. And trust me, I was a shake light guy. I had a bunch of them, and I paid $45 a piece for them. And they're indestructible. They're waterproof. They're like you can with hammers and everything. They're great lights, but I don't sell them or buy them anymore. I buy and sell these. This one is a similar kind of thing. It is a dynamo. You crank it up. Also provides a radio as well. But this one has the unique ability is that it is also a solar charger. It has a solar panel on the top of the light. And so you can leave this out during the daytime, collecting the solar energy, and then at night provide light and a radio. And this one comes with two different gels. It has a red gel and an orange gel. And the light, actually, you can do it two ways. You can get the light to flash, or just a steady flashlight. This is the red beam. You can take the cover off, he says. I ain't taking it off. Anyway, it comes off, so there's a red gel, a yellow gel, or just a standard frame. But it's also solar charged, which is really, really nice. All of the flashlights like this, I'm converting all over to rechargeable batteries. I have a solar battery charger that is about twice the size of this, and will take 2 D-cell batteries, and in full sunshine, about 2.5 or 3 hours, will recharge the batteries. And so if I have 4 sets of D-cell batteries, I can use this flashlight as much as I need it all day long, all night long, and it's probably not going to wear out the batteries. But I can, by putting these in and changing them out with the other set of batteries, I can have the solar power charging up my batteries for the flashlight, so I can have a battery-powered flashlight that runs on solar-powered generated batteries. So as long as I don't go over 2 or 3 days when there's no sunshine, appreciable sunshine, I can have batteries that run on these kind of flashlights. Then we have this. Everybody who's ever watched a cowboy movie knows what this is. It's an oil lamp. Well, these, they still make them. Buy them. I actually have 4 or 5 of these. This is what I use to area light if the things go out. They're really nice. They put out a fair amount of light. They don't use a great deal of fuel. This fuel reserve will let me use this light for about 8 to 10 hours before I have to recharge and fill the canister again. But if you're going to have oil lamps like this, or the kind that your grandmother might have that are a little more ornate, same thing, same principle. This is just a different variation on the theme. Same thing with going with a flashlight. It puts out heat. Not bad if it's in the middle of winter and you want to heat up your house, but if it's August and you need light, it gets really hot. These put out a fair amount of heat. Also, you touch the glass, you get burnt, somebody knocks them over, cause fires, and those kind of things. But if you have these kind of lights, you need to make sure you have plenty of lamp oil around with you as well, especially stuff that doesn't smell. These things burn kerosene, and the kerosene tends to put off an odor that sometimes can be off-putting. And so you have to test it to see if you've got it, if it's good. The best stuff I found is the stuff they sell at, I was going to bring it way too much, at Home Depot, and it's called Cara something, but it's not kerosene, but it has no odor whatsoever. It's made out of, it's a wax derivative, and but it has no odor whatsoever. I use these on my lamps, and it doesn't. This oil has a slight smell to it, and so if you have 2 or 3 of these around, especially in an enclosed area, you can start going, no, I can smell the kerosene. So I mix that other stuff about half and half with this. And the other thing you need to have are backup wicks. If the wick goes out on this, then this is not going to work. So you need to have backup wicks. The wicks last a long time. They do need to be trimmed occasionally. So if you're going to have a lamp like this or lamp oil, you need to make sure you have plenty of oil and plenty of backup wick. And an alternative to that, modern alternative, is a light like this. This is an area task light that runs on batteries. It runs on 4 D-cell batteries. And I didn't bring it with me, but this one's actually remote controlled too. You can either turn it on, and then there's I have a little remote. I actually use this when I go camping. I put this in my children's tent, and they can have the light on, and when it's time for lights out, I turn the light out. And so they can't turn it back on unless they have the remote. But it's also really nice too if you hang it in your tent or somewhere else, and you leave it in an area, and then you can have the remote with you, and as you need to go into the room, you use the remote and the light turns on. This lasts a fairly long time on 4 D-cell batteries. I haven't tested to see how long it runs, but I got to say it's probably 40 hours maybe on D-cell batteries. Provides an ambient amount of light. There's also ones that will have 2 fluorescent tubes on them as well, and they have fluorescent tubes that put out fluorescent lights. And then the one that everybody's familiar with is the standard Coleman camping light. The standard Coleman camping light is, and ones like these are called pressure lights. Requires Coleman fuel, and you put it in there, apply it under pressure, high amount of light, provides a great deal of light. Same thing with the other one, it's kind of harsh on the eyes, but puts out all the light you'd need in a room, lights it up really great. Provides also a lot of heat, not bad in the winter, not really good in the summer. And so having one of these is it's good to have around, but if it's the only thing you're counting on and it's in the middle of summer and you're going, yeah, I don't want any lights, it's too hot. By the way, if you're going to have these, you need to make sure you have Coleman fuel. You think gasoline is expensive. Coleman fuel, when gasoline was $2.80 a gallon, Coleman fuel was $1 more a gallon. Now it's almost $6 for a gallon of Coleman fuel. It's highly refined fuel. They have a lot of these that actually run on dual fuel. They'll run on either Coleman fuel or unleaded gasoline. I found a new one on the internet that I think I'm going to try to talk my wife into buying. It's about $150, but it will run on anything. Paint thinner, diesel, gasoline, fuel, diesel fuel, olive oil. It'll run on just about anything that will burn. And it goes, well, and it's a very nice, made out of nickel-plated brass. It's a really heavy-duty thing. But they're providing these lamps to the military, because the military are using those kind of lamps because it will run on just about anything they put in it. And so wherever you go, you got, oh, look, we got diesel fuel. Oh, there you go. And so you can run those through there.